Welcome to the English class. The topic for today is The Last Lesson by the French writer Alphonse Daudet. This lesson is set in the times of Franco-Prussian War, which was fought between 1870-1871. In this war, France was defeated by Prussia, which was led by Germany. This story is narrated by a school-going boy named Franz. In the first paragraph, Franz he tells the readers that he started for school very late that morning and he was in a great dread of a scolding. First question is, why was he in a great dread of a scolding? Answer is, the teacher M. Hamel had told them to prepare participles, but he did not know the first word of it, so he decided not to go to school that day. There were other reasons as well. The day outside was very bright and warm. Second, the birds were chirping. And third, the sight of the Prussian soldiers drilling at the back of the sawmill. All these things were much more tempting, much more fascinating than going to the school. But Franz, he said that he resisted, he controlled himself and hurried off to school. Then he tells us that when he reached town hall, he observed a large crowd gathered in front of the bulletin board, but he did not pay any attention to the crowd. Question is why? Why Franz did not pay any attention to the crowd gathered in front of the bulletin board? Answer is, it was a usual practice for the last 2 years since the war was going on. All the war related information, it was put up on the bulletin board only, so Franz did not bother much about the crowd gathered in front of the bulletin board. Second reason is that he was already late for the school and he did not have any time to stop and look at the notice put up on the bulletin board. Vactor, the blacksmith who was standing there with his apprentice, he told Franz not to run to the school, but Franz did not pay any attention to the words of Vactor because he thought that Vactor was making fun of him as he was running to the school. He said that he had his breath when he reached the little garden of M. Hamel. He tells us about the unusual scenario in the classroom. He says, usually there was a lot of noise which could be heard out every day. This noise included children opening and closing their drawers, then children repeating their lesson in unison, and third is the teacher rapping the table with his iron ruler. The teacher always carried an iron ruler and he was always striking the table with his iron ruler. But today, the scenario in the classroom was completely unusual. How it was unusual? There was no noise in the classroom. Everybody was seated very quietly. It appeared like a Sunday morning. Why Sunday morning? Because Sunday is a universal holiday for the schools. Franz had to enter before everybody. He was very much scared. He was quite embarrassed that he would get a scolding from the teacher. But that day, the teacher was very polite. He very politely told him, Franz, take your seat. We were going to begin without you. Then Franz, he tells us about the other extraordinary things that surprised him that day. Apart from the unusual silence, what surprised Franz that day was, number one, the teacher was wearing his special dress. This dress was worn by the teacher on special occasions like the inspection day and the prize distribution day. But today it was nothing like a special day. Franz did not know the reason why the teacher was wearing his special day. Second thing that surprised Franz in the classroom was that everything looked very solemn. Everybody sitting in the classroom was very serious. Franz could not understand the reason behind this. And what surprised him the most in the classroom that day, it was the sight of village people sitting at the back benches of the classroom. Students, do remember when you are asked the question, what surprised Franz the most in the classroom? The most surprising thing was the sight of village people sitting at the back benches of the classroom. Franz had never seen such a scenario. He never expected the village people in the classroom. So he was very much surprised. But the teacher, he announced, "Children, this is the last lesson that I am giving you." And how did Franz react to the declaration made by the teacher? These words were like a thunderclap. What is thunderclap? Something that is all unexpected. All of a sudden, something when it comes and all unexpected. So these words of the teacher, the words that this is your last lesson, these words were like a thunderclap to little Franz. He regretted missing his lessons. He regretted that he had never been serious in the class. Instead of reading his lessons, he was always lost. He was always looking for the bird's eggs or sliding on the saw. Today he regretted his action that he had never been attentive in the classroom. The books, which earlier seemed like a big burden, today all of a sudden they appeared like friends. And the teacher, he forgot all about how strict the teacher was. He developed love for his books and the teacher all of a sudden with this announcement made by the teacher.